Hi, my name is Rose Wesson. I'm Associate Dean for Research at the Grove School of Engineering at City College of New York, and I'm also co-coordinator of the WISE program, Washington Internships for Students in Engineering. The program was held in Washington, D.C., and we have 3 WISE interns here to talk a little bit about the program. So, Kathleen, you want to start out and tell us something about yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Kathleen Wu. I graduated from Yale University, and currently I'm a process engineer at Dow Chemical Company in Midland, Michigan.
Hi, my name is Jami Summey-Rice. I attend the University of Houston, major in chemical engineering with minors in energy and sustainability and petroleum engineering.
My name is Jill Schoborg. I attend the Iowa State University and I'm a senior in chemical engineering.
So first, let's hear about your projects. Jill, you want to go first?
Sure. My project was to develop a policy paper addressing the issues surrounding genetically modified organism labeling.
I did my project on high-speed rail, particularly how we can build a nationwide network.
And my project was on government policy initiatives to support the development of carbon capture and storage.
So I've got a lot of questions, but first I'm going to start with you and Jamie. So high-speed rail, how's that related to chemical engineering?
That's an excellent question. Jobs, particularly in material science and electricity production. And high-speed rail has been shown to be very good for the economies around it, and especially job creation. And there's skilled jobs, particularly in engineering and construction.
Right. So is that one of your interests in terms of what you want to do after you graduate, or how did you get interested in high-speed rail?
I'm interested in energy and transportation policy as a whole. I picked high-speed rail because there is a project proposed between Dallas and Houston that piqued my interest, so I wanted to investigate it on a larger scale.
Okay, Kathleen, how did you become interested in your project?
Well, CCS is a lot easier to tie into chemical engineering. It's a separation process.
Right.
And actually that's why I was interested in it, because I knew I was going to be going into industry after graduation, and I wanted a topic that would tie in chemical engineering and also energy policy.
Okay, and how about you?
So I'm from Iowa, as I mentioned before, and genetically modified organisms play a big role in our agriculture. And my sister is also working in the biotechnology field as she is a PhD student at Northwestern University.
Wow, so are you interested in going to graduate school?
I'm looking into attending law school next year, so we'll see how that goes.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So, how did you find out about the WISE program, Kathleen?
So actually I was just looking at some LinkedIn profiles of alums, and I just saw it and it really flagged my interest. You know, I was like, policy and engineering, this sounds perfect. And so I applied for it.
So this is your second time applying, correct?
Yes, that's right. Right, so the first time I actually applied as a junior, and I was considering whether to do this program or an internship in industry at ExxonMobil. And I ended up going with ExxonMobil because I knew that I would have another opportunity to apply senior year, and I thought that having industry experience would really give me some insight into policy. And so I reapplied and was fortunate enough to be readmitted, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be in DC for the summer.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the things you did in DC this summer, other than research policy related issues.
That's all we did. No, I spent so much time at the Library of Congress. I liked working there because it's beautiful, seeing the monuments and the museums, the restaurants, the shopping. It's a great place to go.
Yeah, there's actually a great run you can do by the monuments, so that's really nice. You know, on your morning run, you're like, you can say hello to like the Lincoln Memorial and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jill?
I joined a CrossFit box in the area,
Oh.
so I got involved that way, and I really tried to take a look at more of a native kind of aspect of Washington, D.C. instead of the typical tourist.
Oh, we went kayaking on the Potomac.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. And so where did you stay? How did you find housing? How was that handled?
The program registered us for George Washington University housing. So we were in student housing, and it was much like apartment style living. And you just shared a room with a roommate, and that you had 2 other roommates that shared the other room in the apartment.
Okay, were you guys roommates?
Yes,
Yes.
Kathleen
Yes.
and I shared a room, and then Jill and Susie shared a room. Susie was sponsored by the American Nuclear Society, but she's also a chemical engineer at Pitt.
So WISE is larger than AIChE.
Yes.
Yep.
How so? What do you mean?
It's a multi-organization, IEEE, AIChE, American Nuclear Society, ASTM, the Society of Automotive Engineers.
Okay.
I mean, just lots and lots of, it's interdisciplinary engineering. So I guess in 1980, right, is when it started, and all these different engineering societies got together and said, we need to let engineers know that they can be a part of public policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually one of my favorite parts of the program is the community we were able to form with the other interns, and everyone's topics were all so diverse. We all learned a lot at the end
So much.
about each other's topics.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
You know, we talked to each other about our papers and our research constantly. So you didn't just learn about what you were doing, we learned about what 13 other people were doing. I know so much more than I used to know about all kinds of things.
Mhm.
GMOs, I know so much about GMOs.
So tell me, when you were in DC, did you have a chance to meet with any of your senators or representatives or anything like that?
There's a funny story about that actually. Over the summer, I didn't have the opportunity to meet with my senator, although I did contact her. However, on the plane ride out here, she was on one of my flights, and so I let her know that I was talking about GMOs at this conference, and she gave me her card and told me to contact her. So that was a special occurrence.
There were other interns who were invited to their senators and representatives' offices. Nobody from Texas responded to my emails, but other students got to do those things.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I didn't get to meet my Congress person, but we got to meet a bunch of people from the different agencies, as well as people in Congress. So we definitely got a lot of exposure to all the different stakeholders in DC.
So what do you mean you got a chance to meet other people from different agencies?
It's a very organized experience. We went to several different agencies and met very important people and learned about whatever their agency did. We went to the nuclear agency, we went to the Smithsonian Air and Space, we went to the State Department, we went to DOE, we did a lot of networking.
National Science Foundation?
Yes, we went to National Science Foundation.
Right.
Okay, and so did those visits enhance your paper? Did they enhance your experience? Would you?
Both. I have made contacts, like the people we would speak to said, oh, I don't know anything about high-speed rail, but you need to talk to this person.
Right.
But then you also learned about how DC works, which is important to the process, I think.
Right, you get a sense of all the interconnected players. You have the government agencies, you have Congress, you have the executive office, and you see how it all fits together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You also get a chance to understand how engineers fit in the government, which was eye-opening to me because when I went into chemical engineering, I thought there were two routes, going into industry or going into academia, and knowing that there are other opportunities out there for engineers was a great thing to learn. Yeah.
So would you recommend this experience to your friends, to your colleagues that may be younger than you? Or?
I would recommend it to any engineering student who has any interest in public policy or politics at all, because you think you know how it works until you go there, and you have no idea how it works, and you learn so much. I actually was very cynical about politics until my experience and my entire outlook on the system and the process has changed.
Really?
Yes.
All from 10 weeks? How long
Yes,
was it?
10 weeks, 10
experience,
weeks.
Right?
Yes.
Well, this sounds like it was very good for each one of you. Are there any recommendations you might have for future WISE interns? In terms of how WISE may improve the program, or anything that we might be able to change relative to AIChE?
Well, I would say that one of the most valuable experiences in writing the paper is making contacts with the people in DC. So I think that's really up to the intern to take the initiative to find people and make those contacts.
Right.
And I also think taking advantage of AIChE's resource network in DC is very helpful for that.
And the other societies.
Right.
You know, you're not just with AIChE. We officed in the IEEE office to take advantage of those people, the ASTM people. They're all willing to help you. You're not with your society. You're a group.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say to anyone applying, I would say two things. You need to be a self-motivated person, and you kind of need to know what you want to learn about before you get there. You
Mhm.
need to have a policy idea or at least a general subject that you want to go into.
So we had tried to make sure that people knew their policy-related issues prior to arriving. Did any of you change? Did you change your topic?
I didn't.
I did. I had a little bit of a convoluted project idea going into it, but I was able to clarify that along the way, like within the first week or so. So that was a very good timing, I guess.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for taking your time today to talk to us about WISE. And thank you for coming to the DC area. I've heard great things about the experiences, and you guys did a great job with your policy papers. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference here in Salt Lake City.
Thanks.
Thank you.